in other group. So today's topic is women's safety, and this topic I have chosen because we know that India recently we faced a very gruesome event at Kolkata where a woman was badly she was also killed. She was raped and she was killed. So this point out at our the women's safety policy, right? So I would like to know from all of you your opinion. The first, there is a women. So let's begin from the women. Women first. So Ansu, tell us about your opinion on the recent incident of Kolkata. What do you think, and what more can be done? Over to you.
Thank you for this discussion and topic for today's meeting. When I saw about the whole incident, it was very disturbing, and I'm also today I have watched the Mohawk video and the analysis why this is happening, and now I'm in Odisha near to Kolkata. So I was like, whenever I was planning to visit Kolkata, so there was like people saying like it's not safe for women, and like safety is concerned. You have to be very careful. It is very crowded. It's of course like one of the biggest city. So it's not the first time or only I got warning about Kolkata. Every time whenever I was in Hyderabad, Bangalore, even in Jaipur, especially warnings and like the concern from parents I have seen, like your safety is your own responsibility. And after this case, my mother is again reminding me my safety, and she is also quite worried. She was not able to sleep in the night, and she always say ki raising a daughter is very difficult. It was quite disturbing. And when I analyze, because from 22 end, and I got opportunity, I was writing a book, and still I am continuing writing the book with Divya. She is into forensic department, and this is on the concept of like how data and science I can implement in predetermined like checking of like how rapist mindset people. So because every time when we say right, like how a recommendation system work, whenever we are talking about something, like if I'm talking, guys, please suggest me new book collection, new books, and in my Amazon or anything, even in YouTube, I will get recommendations similar on same topics. So I started doing my research how we can check, like by checking the feeds of that person. If that person is regularly searching for porn website or some like news, then we can discover. But with when I started this discussion with like different data scientists in my scalar group, then I got few concerns are like the people who are with this criminal mindset, they don't always go with this social media or search. And few cases, like most of the cases in India, they are not registered, even they are happening in remote area. Okay, my voice is not clear. Is it clear now?
Yeah, it is clear now.
Yeah,
Please
thank you,
go ahead.
Toastmaster. So the cases and the people with the mindset, this record is not always getting in their feeds and like in on their mobile phone or like through internet. So if I talk about the mindset, the things are why this rape culture or happening in a lot of places, not even rural, even in urban. India is patriarchy society. Like people have that masculinity idea. They have like they are quite superior in the movies, especially like Animal and quite like I think lots of the South Indian movies, like they show a girl or the main female lead as item in their movies. Most general stories there is a hero who has to fight for a village or for like some past story for his family to like through and he when goes from zero to like a hero and then fight in the end. And there is always a female lead who they show in the item song or like in as a love interest only. In Bollywood there are a lot of changes. We have seen a lot of women centered movies, but in South I see I still get the super hit songs from that kind of movies only. And these are the main source. Like we like if someone is like who the person who was like rapist mind, and he will not go to news and like start analyzing what is wrong or what is right. The general time pass is like this kind of stuff only, the Bollywood or the movie stuff. And they are representing this like okay, women is a toy only. So that we have to change at very global level. And the case of Kolkata, the Mamta Banerjee, she is the CM of the state. She is protesting against who? It's her government. And the thing is here, the statement of people, even from Nirbhaya case, this statement of that person who like that's girl fault why she was roaming after 9 p.m. Girl should take the responsibility. They should wear like complete clothes. Their body should be covered. They should like spend their nights at home only. No freedom. It's their mistake. Why they are doing? They are allowing. They are inviting us to come and just play with us. So that mindset is not good, and most of the cases are not registered. The girl with whom I am started writing and the co-writer of the book, she is in forensic department. She also uh, voluntarily give guidance to police, like how to deal with volunteers. So she was explaining me like the victim was not able to speak a single word. And like uh, even the police they started like asking where they did, how they did, the areas they touch. So something like this question, these are like quite fire on their wood. So this was too disturbing for victims. So they give psychological or like a seminar how to handle the victims cases. So she was explaining me few stories where like victims were not able to speak a single word. And this is not a simple accident. Okay, I got a hand injury or some face injury. This traumas are for lifetime, and nobody deserve this. It's not only about women. No men or like irrespective of gender, nobody deserve this brutality. So this is good that we are discussing on such matter. This is like showing that how uh, progressive we are, how we are accepting learning from each other, the progressive mindset. So like that's on my take on this topic, and just praying and hoping no similar incident will happen in our country or like anywhere. Thank you, Toastmaster Tuku.
That's a great take, also. Let me summarize your points. You quote your quote that was truly great, and that is your risk is your responsibility. That's a very great quote, and that can be taught to the many other people. And one other things that you told about the data analysis. How can we use this technology to understand the mindset of the rapist and the rapist culture? That's a very great point, and I really liked it. And you talked a lot of other things like the objectification of women in the Bollywood movies and underreporting of the cases. So you rightly talked about a lot of good points, and that can help us to understand the problems that women are facing. Thank you,
Thank
also. Now we are moving to, now let me acknowledge the presence of Munish sir and Manu sir and Aman. Welcome to our meetings. Today's topic is women's safety, and we are largely talking about, our topic is largely revolved around the incident of Kolkata recently happened. So now we can move to Munish
Can I
sir.
speak?
Yes, Munish
Yes.
sir. Today's topic is women's safety. Over to you.
Women's safety is very important in life. This morning I was reading a news. The man who made Kashmir Files, Vivek Agnotri, in her movie, there was an actress, Tanushri. So she had a scene where she had to wear short shorts, where she had to flaunt her legs. And that lady was ready to do that scene, but that scene, suppose if it takes after 3 or 4 hours, but her director, that Vivek Agnotri, who showed Kashmir File all the wrong things, he didn't allow her to wear the robe so she can cover till that scene doesn't stop. Our society is like that. First of all, Anusham, society has to change. Long ago, maybe you remember or not, there was one person, Kanda, something like that. His name, he was a rich man. He was having his airlines also. He raped multiple times his air hostess. And that person, because of that person, has to go to jail. And after that, that can you hear me? Okay, I thought. Okay, that person,
Yes.
Yes.
when he was in the prison, he used to open challenge his mother. He made their life hell of that family. After that, when he went to the prison, when he came out of the prison, when he managed to come out of the prison, that person contested the election and he won. This is what I want to say. First of all, society has to change. Look at our Asaram Bapu. Asaram Bapu is in the prison. He was a fraud. Till now, forget about men. The ladies come out on the road and protest. Leave that person, give him freedom. He should not be in prison. There are ladies, for Ram Rahim, who is in a prison, who get promoted from IPS to IAS. He was raped by his people love him, people adore him. There was a person who has tortured these wrestler ladies. He didn't get the ticket from BJP because, but his son got the ticket, and his son won the election. The lady who is Vinesh Fogwat something, who was a wrestler. So our society, first of all, anybody who does this type of crime should not accept. Our society accept that person. That's absolutely wrong. I was reading about one lady. She said that they should go for castration. Any person who does this thing, that it will be a lesson for that person. But nothing happens afterwards. Afterwards, these people, when they come out of prison, there is one case going to tell you. In Gujarat, it happened when there were riots. There was one Shako Bana. I do not know what the name of that lady. She was raped in front of her family member, in front of her kids, and those people, they went to the prison to win the election. Government took those people out from the prison, and they said that these people are from a higher caste. They can't do this thing. After that, there was a lot of controversy. It was Supreme Court which intervened. Then that people want has to go to prison. Their political parties, they made them sit on the stage. So this our society has to change. The why the people from that state they accept those people, those who have done wrong with any religion. This lady, whoever does this crime, it doesn't have any religion. The man who does this thing, that person, the if the one person, if they go for castration, the next person, I do not know the right word which I'm using it. I read it. So the second person will have fear in their mind that they want to do this thing. Once I was in Dubai, I asked the driver, why there is no crime in your country where Pakistani and Indian lives over there. Why we have crime in India and Pakistan? He said there is a fear of crime. Fear of crime. If they do, they have to go for punishment. If their law is like this, our politician, those who give parole to Mr. Ram Rahim, our politician, I know when he was Asaram Bapu, when he had to, they have to take him and arrest him initially. The opposition party that they want to protect these tribal people. The women's safety will come. The reason is when people are involved. Right now, this case has happened in West Bengal. That's why it has become a hue and cry. Day for yesterday, it happened in my state also. Nobody knows this thing has happened. 2 days ago, this the same incident happened with the nurse. The person has raped in UP. That incident didn't get the voice because opposition was not that strong. So our government has to be very strict. Like the lady is not allowed to go out. What nonsense is that? If a man can roam at 2 o'clock at night, why not ladies? We should have to have that type of. If the ladies in UK, England, Paris, they roam at entire night, why not in India? So our politicians have to play a very important role. Those who are ahead of us, like they only raise the problem which happens with the opposition. If they become united, all if anybody does wrong, everybody should speak. Then only this problem can be over. Women's safety is very important. Women should be like a man. Whatever man does, the woman should also be allowed to do the same thing. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. That's a great take, Monisa. Let me summarize your point. You talked about the stringent laws, just like Dubai, and that create the fear of crimes in that place. And you rightly talked about the responsibility of the society. The society has to change. For example, the people who protested to protect the Asaram Bapu during his uh, during his so when the police was taking him to the jail, so that has to change. It is the responsibility of the society that matters a lot in order to protect the safety of the women. Thank you, Munish sir. That's a great speech. Now we are moving to Manoj sir. Manoj sir, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
All right. So, sir, today's topic is women's safety, and we are largely talking about the recent incident in Kolkata. What's your opinion on this? And please suggest us some measures to check the problems against the women. Over to you.
A very disturbing topic to be discussed about, but why to get disturbed when it is happening every day? If you see the statistics, in a year there are about more than 35,000 women being raped. That's about two per day. Every day, two women. That is reported cases. And if we include those unreported, it can be five, six, or maybe more than that. And most often you find even their known relatives are involved in that. And so once it is open, suppose I'm a woman and I have been raped, my own parents won't like to talk about it. If I go to the law court, the police to begin with, previously there used to be two finger test It's like being raped again. The doctors or somebody going to insert it within me to check whether I was raped. My clothes that I was wearing during the rape, those will be produced again and again. Once I go to the court, those clothes will be produced. I'll be asked where I was touched. Just place, if I place myself in that position, I just cannot imagine. I'd prefer to commit suicide rather than retelling all that incident again and again. So as Master Muniz just said, yes, stricter punishment need to be there. When I say stricter punishment, castration. Anyone involved, they should be castrated. They cannot have sex throughout their life. Second point, lack of gender sensitization. Yes, it's there. All the male in the room. Haven't you ever ogled at a woman? I have done that. I was at fault, ogling at them, taking for granted, yes, I can do something. That's there, that patriarchal mindset is there. How do you change that? Maybe the whole gamut of education system is a big mess. I don't think we are geared up mentally because it all starts in the mind. Any kind of crime, if you go to jail and ask them what happens, I didn't know something happened. I lost my mind. Most of them, once you're angry, lost all those, whatever takes over and commit some kind of crime, is because of lack of that sensitivity and lack of control over our mind. But how to do that? To start with, yes, we need to have good educational system to start with. We need to have the ancient system of education coming back. When I say I totally believe in this, there's no two way of it. That Macaulay system, I think it is corrupted everything. And this education system is responsible for all over the world. It's going on all over the world. It's not only India. Now, what kind of system need to be there? The ancient system of Gurukuls. There, I think the people is to the way the Vedas and our scriptures is to be taught. I think there lies a lot of wisdom that we need to imbibe. Once the mind is cleansed, like yoga, meditation, all these are not something fashionable. It's a part of life. If we can adopt this, I believe most of this problem are going to vanish. So it is going back to the roots. There is no other way. I cannot find, yes, stronger rules you can make, but who is going to enforce those rules? Human beings like you and me, with the same kind of mindset. We have not changed and will not change unless our root system is cleansed. And that can be done once we go back to our roots. And our roots lies in our culture, traditions. And once I say culture, tradition, it's in our scriptures. The ancient wisdom lies in systems. We need to go back and study that. And if we do that, I think change is definitely going to come because it all starts with the mind. And once we learn how to control that, cleanse that, most of the problems are going to vanish. Thank you.
Thank you, Manoj sir. That's a wonderful take. So your point is that going back to the roots, that's a great point. And you also talked about the ancient education system, the Gurukul system. And it is very true today that our education system is not inculcating the values It is giving us the knowledge, but it is totally not giving us the values. So that's why you talked about the Indian education system that has the values and that can inculcate the right culture and the right wisdom in the young generation. Thank you. Back to you. Thank you, sir. Now we can move to uh, Aman. Aman, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Aman. So I think you know the topic.
Yeah.
Okay, so today's topic is that's women safety, and we are talking about the recent incident of Kolkata. Please give your opinion of.
Thank you very much for giving me opportunity to share my opinion on such an important topic. The incident which happened in Kolkata is a really heartbreaking one, and like this incident should open the eyes of everyone in the country, the law and order, the judiciary, the public which is witnessing all this, because it is one such incident which came to limelight because of news or some political involvement and everything, but there are numerous cases which happen on daily basis and are not even reported. So when we see such types of crimes happening, we need to see that where is the root of these problems, how this mentality came into being. Like we have discussed, like many people have discussed, so I will not go much in deep, but the few reasons are the patriarchal mindset, the gender bias which we have created in a society, which is again fueled by the Bollywood movies. So I think we need to find solutions to how we cure that. So there will be two types of solutions. One is a short term, one is a long term. Speaking of long term solutions, that is the education, the gender sensitization, and like if we have a co-ed school from young age, if people are intermixing with other gender, having conversations, knowing each other better, so that will create a society where the person will understand the opposite gender and will be sensitive about it and not commit such type of crimes. Then the second solution is empowering the women. So like the effect of this education and all will come after one generation, when the current, like the youth will be sensitive towards such issues and they will think wisely if they are provided right education. But the society which we live in right now, we do we like it or not, we have these problems and we need to find a solution working through this. So first one would be the implementation of law and order. I don't think much people are aware of the section, IPC section 100, which gives an victim a right if someone is trying to sexually assault you or trying to rape someone, the victim has a right to kill the aggressor. Charges of murder or homicide will be applicable on him. He will be free to go out. And so, like such laws exist, and we should create awareness about it and educate the women so that they can utilize this right which they have when they face such situations. I would also like tell some stories which is involving my sister. So she studies in a college in Bhopal, and she once told me while she's going from hostel to her classes, there are few two or three boys sitting at a tea stall, and that is the girls like passing by, passing comments or such things. So now in that situation, I could have gone and confronted those guys, but that would have not helped. If they would have seen her alone sometime, they would have done the same thing again. So what I suggested her was, get all your friends together and together you confront them, and which they did, and these things have stopped happening to her. So that is how I believe we should empower the women in our families, and so they are self capable. We should not raise them in a way that they are dependent on like their family members, their parents, or someone to protect them. They should be capable of protecting themselves, and if we make them that capable, they will be like, these type of incidents will not happen to them. So I believe that's from my side, and thank you.
Amazing, Aman. That's a great book. You mostly talk about the empowering of women that would create the capabilities so that they can defend themselves, right? I liked about your speech is that you provided the solutions, short-term solutions and the long-term solutions. And they were like education system and intermixing the boys with the girls so that they can understand about each other gender. And you also talked about the root cause of this problem. The root cause of this problem, you talked about the patriarchy, gender bias that we generally have from the Bollywood movies, the objectification of the women, right? So your speech contained a lot of good points, and I really like that. Great take, Aman. Now we are moving to Digvijay. Digvijay, are you here?
Yes, Tuko, I'm here.
Okay, that's great to hear.
Okay,
So the
so
topic, okay, please tell us about your opinion on this matter.
okay, so my opinion is slightly differs from the rest of the fellow speakers. First thing I would say, we do not need any strict law in the crime against women. All we need is a strict implementation, because when you see the way they follow the persistent law, it takes so much time for the justice to be served. So in judiciary, they say that justice delayed is justice denied. So that is all we see. Let's take the example of Nirbhaya case. It took more than 10, almost 10 years to for the culprits to be seeing the punishment. So this is the reason why we see that why we feel that we need a strict law. But there is a side effect of having strict law. Let it be rape law, or let it be the dowry law, dowry case, or domestic violence case. You see, the most of the time, the wrong women take advantage of that, and the people who are the real victim, they do not go to file the case because of obvious reason. First thing, Manojji mentioned that in most of the cases, the relatives or close allies of the victim are the culprit. So I would say that is one case, and these days we are seeing that people are asking for the capital punishment of the culprit. Let's take example of, there was another rape case that happened in 90s. It was a Dhananjay Chatterjee case, and this person was the accused, and they what they did, they just hanged him to death. And later people realized that he was not the main criminal. The main criminal is still roaming free. So another quote in the that is very popular in justice system is that justice hurried is justice buried. So we should not go after social trial or media trial.
Who is there? Uh, I just wanted to call our members at the end because I just wanted to give other people who are new to this platform a chance. So Digvijay,
Okay.
please continue your speech.
Okay, thanks. So today's our topic is about women's safety, right? Or I mean, it should be about women's safety instead of what should be the punishment of the criminal who is doing some offense against women. So I would like to share some tips which everyone should follow, especially when they are away. I mean, they are in difficult situations, like they are at unfamiliar places or they are in dangerous situations. So we should always be aware of our surroundings. Like we should always be mindful where we are and whom we are around. So and we should always trust our instincts. It is said that women get sixth sense. They feel the danger the moment before it is about to harm them. So we should always trust our instinct. And the second thing I would say, we should rely on technologies. For example, Google Map. We should share our live location to the trusted contacts, especially those who are around nearby us, so that in this situation we get help on time. And we should plan our route and medium of transportation if possible in advance, so that we should not get caught in difficult time, especially at late night at the wrong place. So that would be great if we try to plan in advance. And the next thing is it is about personal relations. We should set our personal boundaries very clear. We should not give any wrong signal to the person. Uh, I mean, we should not make them feel that we can tolerate any kind of bullshit or any kind of uh, advances which are not appropriate. And next thing is might be not legal, and we should carry safety tools. These days government has banned paper sprays, but still it is available in market. And there are some flashlights which blind people temporarily, so we can use those things. There are many keychains which has small knives which we can use for our own safety when it comes. And it is next thing I would say, it is good to learn some self defense tactics which work when it comes to physical altercation with the person who are offending you. And the next thing is very, which people generally ignore, that we should be cautious with social media. We should not feed our real time information on social media. Sometimes, in most of the times, if we are so public, so it might backfire. So it would be great if we feed our social media with the delay of 1 day or 2 day. So, and after that, it is good to have emergency contact number, so we can just dial it by one click. So, and late night we should avoid ride share, because I mean, if organized criminals like we saw in Nirvaya case, they portray as a fellow travelers, and I mean they create an environment to catch you, and they take advantage of you. This is how in most of the cities late night people rob the lone travelers. And we should have a safety network. And suppose we are in another city, in not in our home city, we should have a network of people whom we can rely on our difficult times, especially when we are trapped, we are stuck in wrong place at the wrong hour, so that uh, people might know where we are at the moment. Apart from that, we should avoid distraction. It is very important. If you are in public transport, you should not wear headphones, because it will distract you. I mean, you will enjoy, but this is the moment you will not be able to notice who has done something bad to you, and who has done. I mean, sometimes people steal, sometimes people misbehave, and we don't even realize at the moment. The next thing is, we should dress comfortable clothes, because sometimes when we have to run quickly, we have to give a tight kick. Our dress should follow our action perfectly. And the next thing I would say, we should avoid taking substances which reduce our reflexes, especially alcohol. Late nights, alcohol is the one of the reason people are not. People fail themselves to. I mean, fail to save themselves properly. So these are the things. And yes, I said it is great to have a emergency contact of hospital and police in your quick dial. Sometimes it is a lifesaver. So these are the things which we should always follow as routine, because if something bad happens to you, it doesn't matter if people are campaigning or people are demanding of capital punishment. If it's done for a permanent. I mean, it's a permanent loss to you and the family. So safety is the best precaution you can take, and I would say it is a gender neutral thing to take safety precautions. Yes, and women are the more victim of uh, sexual crimes, but men are the men are the reason, men get more. Men are the victim of what you want death crimes. I mean, they get killed more frequently than women. So it doesn't matter what is your gender. You will There are great chances for you to get the victim of being a wrong person at the wrong time in the. I mean, you are surrounded by the wrong people. So it is great to have your own safety. So that's all from my side. Over to you, Tuku.
Amazing, amazing. Your speech was just like an expert. Why I'm telling this? Because you rejected the stringent laws. Because Muni sir and others, they talked about the stringent laws, but you rejected it. But and you gave emphasis to strict implementation of the law. That's a great thing. Why I'm telling this? Because if you look at the experts in the laws, they says that if you bring the strict laws and allow the capital punishment, that is the death punishment, then it will create the more negative outcomes than the positives, because that will be a tool for misutilization in the country. That's why strict laws are avoided by the experts. So that's a great point you talked about, and few of the quotations that you spoke today, like justice delayed is justice denied, justice hurried is justice buried, and safety is the best precaution that you can take, right? So these are your points that, and the quotations you use rightly, and you also gave a lot of solution to these problems, like we can use the technology, safety tools, self-defense, emergency contact, so many things. That's a great pack of speech today. Thank you, Digvijay. Now we can move to our final member of this meeting. Okay, Dipesh, are you there?
Yes, Chiku.
All right, we are waiting a lot to hear from you finally. So you know about the topic. This is women's safety, and we were just willing to hear from you on this.
So, believe me, everybody who is listening to me here, it's just not the rapist who is responsible for this, but I think we all have a part to play on this. And I'll tell you how with the course in my speech. But whenever we talk about such incidents, all we do is blame police, we blame the governance, we blame the systems, laws and regulations, etc. Firstly, why are we trying to solve a problem through laws or through system when the problem is rooted in psychology? There are obviously everybody knows the legal system of this country and how much time does it take to get justice here. So police is ineffective against what happens behind the closed doors because nobody can monitor and nobody can really know what is happening behind the closed door. As somebody pointed out, a majority of the rape cases happen uh, from the family where I mean somebody known does all these kinds of heinous crimes like rapes. Somebody known in the family member itself, and nobody registers those cases. Now, it's a hypocritical society where people are raising a lot of voice against the Kolkata case, but they are silent on rapes which happen on daily basis. What is currently happening in countries like Bangladesh, or even in our own cities? Why are we silent on that? So, firstly, what I think the problem is the sex educations because we never really speak about the main elements which are behind these heinous crimes. As somebody rightly pointed out, that there is a huge gap, immense gap between both the genders, and both the genders are never being given a platform or an opportunity to actually understand each other. So, a man, let's say a man who grew up in a very patriarchal family, at till 14 years of age, he does not realizes uh, any need for a woman in his life. But as puberty hits, he actually starts to develop some kind of hormonal feelings towards women. So his idea of women is now being capped and fueled by things like elements like Bollywood and Instagram models, which I'll come to later part of my speech. But firstly, there is a lack of sex educations, right? And I think every man can relate to this. What I'm going to say is that even if there's nothing between you or a girl, even if you take a simple walk in a park with a girl, the society judges both of you on the basis of that, right? So this is the kind of society we live in, where the gap between women and men is immense, right? Both are never being given the platform to understand each other. So now there is a lack of understanding, that's clear. So this lack of understanding is being fueled by idiotic elements like Bollywood and social media. Because every Bollywood these days, every Bollywood movies, right from a lot of from like decades, it has been Bollywood has been doing this, is objectifying women. So somebody who never interacted with women, somebody who cannot is not comfortable talking about women in his family, or now gets idea about women or the opposite genders from films, or somebody in his close friend circle who has actually experienced sexual pleasures at a very early point of time. And believe me, there used to be a guy in every school or colleges who used to glamorize his achievements with women, right? And he used to use words like scores, like how many women has he slept with, and everybody used to glamorize such kind of men, especially the boys faction. So this speaks a lot about the kind of society we live in. And maybe out of everybody develops these kind of mindsets, but maybe out of 100 men, 99 won't commit such kind of heinous crimes. But one such psychotic person will commit such kind of crimes, and which outrages public, which leads or ignites public outrage at a mass level. So why do we wait on that? So Bollywood, if we talk about Bollywood, then things like item songs, and recently one of the most idiotic movies which came out recently. I think Vicky Kaushal stared in it, where the idea of having multiple partners or objectifying women has been glamorized. A lot of our masses have actually went to the theaters and applauded for such kind of bullshit movies. Aren't we all responsible in this? Is women only mate? Is there not any other relation between a man or woman apart from the one with which the I mean, apart from having a natural sexual tendencies between each other? I think we never normalized that. So just look at the Instagram models these days. Sex has become an industry. Look at the traffic which comes from India on pornographic websites. Look at the Instagram models who are objectifying their body in order to gain views and money because they have no such real profession. Even I'll tell you the mindset of the society, even if a man who is well-to-do, who gets into government job or earns very well, seeks a beautiful woman or a very attractive woman, we never really care about what's beneath the looks or what's beneath her body, right? What's her mindset? Is she compatible with me? Or is she really worthy enough to establish a family with me? We never question on that regards. It's all about men earning more and women being beautiful, right? So obviously this has a if you objectify women on that grounds, then clearly somebody psycho might do such kind of crimes because out of masses, we are creating an army of creep men, right? So Bollywood, social media, the Instagram models I'm talking about, or the pornographic website, everything has a role to play in this. So the firstly, we need to bridge this gender gap between each other because we traditionally are a society who in ancient times have recognized or have imparted sex education in our children. If we talk about Kama Sutra, and there's a lot of literature on that, you can go and read about it. So, secondly, is psychology, right? We create an army of engineers, doctors, scientists, or CEOs of big corporations, but we never really delve into subjects like psychology, which is very important. Just think about it. Everybody here is very uncomfortable to talk about things like relationship to their parents, right? And this is not very encouraged, these kind of talks. We consider sex education or things like relationships as a taboo to discuss in front of our parents. So as a result, some psycho people whom their parents cannot identify, let's say if this was a very transparent communication between parents and children, right? Don't you think parents would have identified their children if somebody is just a second, I think, sorry, I got diverted. So I was saying, say parents never really had that, or children never really had that frank conversation between themselves. So let's say somebody actually developed psychotic tendencies, which is a tendency of a rapist. Might be parents would have identified at a very early point of time in their teenage, when their children are in teens, or they could have avoided such kind of uh, mm, heinous crimes because they have imparted the right knowledge and the right education to their children because a lot of misinterpretation would have been taken up by a young generation of those time. Fourthly, I would like to talk about bullshit cultures like hookups or night parties or night culture, where sex or materialism is being glamorized. We have forgotten our roots, and we are totally opposite, or on the contrary of Western culture, where we talk about spirituality, where we talk about knowing ourselves, self-awareness. We talk about a lot of wisdom, knowledge, but all we do is borrow the worst part of any culture and apply it without any consequence. Just go to big metropolitan cities on a New Year Eve on 31st night, and you'll know what I'm talking about. You'll find people uh, lying on people high on drugs and lying on the roads. And it becomes a huge challenge for law authorities to actually control such kind of situations because you never know who becomes high and does what. Because at that state of consciousness, I don't think nobody knows what they're doing. They're not conscious enough about their acts in life. So things like hookups, parties, night culture, pornography websites are, uh, you know, our sex education is being imparted from these kind of entities, which is absolutely wrong and which is absolutely uh, catastrophic and dangerous for our society. And as a result, such kind of crimes happen uh, in our society on a daily levels. So this is like my overall take about this topic, where we all are involved in this, where the element of psychology is being greatly involved in this. I'm not against the Western culture, nor I'm against the idea that we should not strengthen our law enforcement or structures. But maybe these are short-term measures to counter such kind of acts, but the long-term measures would be what I've talked about in my entire speech. So I think that's what my overall take about this topic. Over to you.
Wow. What a speech. So your speech contained a lot of good elements, and which nobody talked about before. Like you emphasized on sex education, and you started your speech with a statement that we are equally responsible for the Kolkata incident. I got amazed that how we are responsible to, but you truly validated your statement. You talked about the hypocrisy of the people, the judgment of the society when a boy and girl is walking in the garden. So you talk a lot of good points, and I like one statement from your speech is that Bollywood is creating Bollywood is creating an army of creep men. Wow, what a statement! I just liked it. And glamorizing things among the boys. That's you also pointed out rightly. And today onwards, what I was also glamorizing among my friends, I will completely stop it. Really, I didn't knew that this is creating an impact on the psychopaths or the problem and the people who are weak in minds. So glamorizing among the friends that has to be totally stopped. Objectification. You also talked about the objectification of the women in Bollywood. So there was a lot of good points in your speech, and the favorite statement is that Bollywood is creating an army of creep men. Wow! Thank you, Dipesh. That's nice. Now we have Ansum and Aman. Would you guys like to say something on? Would you like to? Noorji is coming in. Okay. Would you guys like to conclude the sessions with your final statement? Ansum and Aman. I think they are not. Hello, Noorji.
Can you?
Hello. Hi,
Hello.
Aman.
Okay, after Noorji. Hello, Noorji. How are you?
I, I am doing good. I am doing good. How are
Okay,
you?
that's great.
Long time.
Yeah, so we are just on the verge of concluding our meeting. So we would like to listen from you, your opinion on the women's safety. So we are conducting a meeting around the Kolkata incident that happened recently. So
I
today's
see.
topic is women's safety. Please,
I,
over to you.
yeah, because in India, primarily there is a big gap in men uh, perspective about women in general. Right? There is a big stereotype thinking because if you go to any government offices or private offices, uh, men have a very patriarchal look at women. They think that women are not capable, or if they are uh, demanding of a situation which needs to be addressed, they call them pushy or they call them different types of labeling, right? And this happens primarily because men are not aware of how actually women respond at work, right? And uh, that that level of interaction between men and women, that awareness, the workplace awareness, is very low in terms of men considering women at workplace, right? So they always look down upon women, majority of the cases. Even very educated people, I have seen a lot of educated people giving a very casual take on women at work, right? So this is a very important concern, which is the root of many kind of discrimination, uh, much of the discrimination which happens against women. So this has to be addressed. It has to be addressed policy wise, as well as it has to be addressed awareness, right? Awareness at different levels of workplace. Like for example, it comes from the home. Like if you have a working mother in the home, it's an entirely different outlook for the children, right? They know that a woman can go to work, she is capable of doing very productive work,
much more than a man can do in certain instances. So that type of an awareness has to be brought in. A lot of places, if the mother is at home, children are very highly educated. They are doctors and engineers and lawyers and big CEO level people, but still they have a very primitive outlook regarding women equality. So, number one is policy, right? And there has to be repercussions for doing something wrong, right? For example, the rights of the woman needs to be protected, and there should not be exceptions. The moment you make exception because of power or because of some position or whatever it is, you are a politician and you are a politician का बेटा आके कुछ कर दिया भाई politician का बेटा है अभी कुछ नहीं करेंगे नहीं ऐसा नहीं होगा. The law applies to everyone and it has to be treated very seriously because there has to be no exception because one exception is encouraging so many other things which happen like a recent one, West Bengal. The lady has been mutilated. Right? It's the most horrific thing. I don't know. They're not human beings in the first place. To do something to another human being, forget woman and man. To do something to another human being in the worst scenario, you should be an animal of one sort that you are doing such kind of. Now, one guy has been made a scapegoat, and the amount of fluid which was found in a private car indicates that it is a group work, right? And one person only, and the police are not looking also for anybody else, right? So that indicates the kind of the audacity what the others will have after this incident if none of the other people are framed or caught will be way beyond the borders. Like you can do a horrific crime and escape it. So that's the lesson which the others will have from it. So it is very important to push now for bringing about a policy change, not just some no patchwork things. No, it has to be pan India and it has to be a policy change at workplace at all levels, from government sector to private sector to every state, government, taluk, villages, everywhere it has to be applied. And this is very important. If it is no repercussions are there and people are not made aware of these repercussions, then this will continue. In the Kolkata case, we thought this is just one sort of incident. This kind of a horrific crime cannot happen. It is just one-off instance, right? But no, such kind of instances are happening, like numerous instances. Maybe I'm just stating only these things are coming forward. In villages, so many ladies die, right? No one cares, and nor they are reported, right? It has become like a plague which is plaguing India in a big time. So I think to summarize, policy change has to be made, awareness has to be given to everybody, including why it is important for you to have a dignified outlook towards women. Very important. If you are not respecting women, then you're not respecting. It's not that she is only cooking and producing children. It is very important that you respect women for her caliber, for her intellect, for her way of thinking and doing stuff, right? So this is very important. So I think that this has to be bought on a very grassroots level, and it will take a generation or two for us to see actually any results which come from this. But it's a long process. But it has someone has to lay a foundation stone for this. Now is a very high time. This cannot repeat. This kind of a behavior cannot repeat it. If they don't catch the other criminals who escape, then it's a big shame on the whole uh, the whole Indian mentality, how we operate and how we tolerate nonsense when it happens right in front of our eyes, and we don't care about it. Neither do anyone care, and they think that in a month everything will get silent and we get on with life. And that's a very sad, callous attitude. Yeah, back to you.
That's a great take, sir. I like your statement that respect the women for her caliber. That's a great point that I know from your speech. And at the end of your speech, you also mentioned a few recommendations like policy formulation and awareness program that the government can think about. Like in awareness, we can talk about why this is important and how this is going to achieve. That's a great take. And also, you talked about the rights of the women with strictly no exceptions, be it a politician. Yes, sir. Noorji.
Yeah, so this has to be, see, these are general guidelines, but the thing is, when you get down to the fact things, you got to get very detailed, like what happened during the independence time. uh, they had to form the Indian Constitution. So four women were actually involved in getting things done for the Indian Constitution, right? So it is very important to involve a lot of women into this formulation of policy, and they will figure out no man should really get into this business because it is women matter. And if men are in the decision making process, it's okay, but the majority say always should be women on this matter. And policy formulation, everything should go through unless it is a very technical kind of a thing. Other than that, this should be a woman contribution. The policy formation should take into consideration various levels of things, and every small little detail, why, when, how, where, when it should be applied, what phases it should go through, all will be decided by them. So in that way, if we can get this thing done, and some oversight committee is there to oversee all these things, and that also by women majority, so then it will be a good, a balanced point of view for the woman. Like for example, we have seen many kind of things. Like for example, we talk about the abortion issue, right, in US, big issue. Men are determining the the laws for the woman. Now it's the woman's right, and as much as it's her body and what she wants to do with it. And it is very imperative that you don't bring religion into things for policy making, right? That's why it is recommended that, highly recommended, that we keep the religion separate from policy and constitution. That changes a lot of things otherwise. So I think that this policy also, whatever policy is going to be made for the woman, should be determined by the woman itself, majority. Uh, Technical things are aside. That's it. Sorry, I took too much.
All right, sir. That's you wonderful. You talked about a point that involved a lot of women in policy making. It just reminded me of the country Rwanda in Africa. In this country, more than 60% of the women they are in legislation. So that's a great point. If women will be in the political leaderships, then a lot of good laws can come and implementation will become better. That's a great point, sir. Now, yes, Amman, would you like to say something?
Yes, I would like to add like 2 points over here. In USA, there is a list which is called as list of registered sexual offenders, which is publicly available to anyone. So that ensures the safety of women in a way that, like, there is a scene of online dating which goes on in today's times, and we don't know much about the person on the opposite side. So these types of lists can help them verify if they're meeting a person, is he a repeated sexual offender or not. And if such case is there, they can avoid those cases going into that situation. The second thing is there are many surveys and researches done on the mindset of the rapist. And it is found that most of the times these people are not guilty of their actions, or they even try to justify it ki why they did that. So crime itself is very heinous, but not having any guilt or remorse for such crime is even more concerning. So we need to focus on how we bring the education and awareness and bring empathy into those people so that these kind of actions not happen repeatedly. Thank you.
All right, Aman, that's a great point. You gave the case studies of USA. That is the list of register of sexual offenders, and rightly this is can be implemented in our country as well. So that's a great awareness. Thank you. Okay, Ansum, as a woman, what would you like to conclude this meeting?
So before conclusion, I want to say a big thank you to Master Tuku for conducting this meeting. Like we all are staying at our home, and like at some places we are not contributing, or we wanted to go and uh, do march past for this crime, against this crime. So I really feel a relief after talking to you all and listening to the ideas and the ideology. Sometimes, even in many cases, victims got that guilt that they are because of them they are being gone through this trauma, or like the vulnerable situation. Victim didn't get a chance that they are, it's not their fault. So here I'm just like just happy to just take out my thoughts out here. I had talked with Hemanti Singh. She is like a founder of Junoon Foundation. Like when I was discussing that when I am volunteering young kids, like about like don't when I saw the incident, like boys is hitting girls. She told that they find it very normal situation because they have seen कि घर पे पापा मार रहे तो it's their right कि वो कर सकते हैं मार सकते हैं. So they should understand, like everyone should understand about their body and like the right they have. Nobody can touch them, nobody can make them feel worse in about their life or their body. So we have to teach. And the Kolkata case, she was doctor, like it take a lot of hard work. So it's not about educating victims, it's about educating guys also. If someone like anyone, like if someone is just passing comment like what Aman shared in his experience, so it's not कि चलता है ignore कर दो. No, we have to take action in this situation. The accused, he already had few of FIRs against him. So if at initial or like at early stage, if someone could take action on that, so there is chances कि ये होता नहीं. So we should not ignore. If at workplace, school, someone is abusing you, just draw the line, make a clear statement, no, it's not good, you are doing wrong. So thank you so much for bringing this discussion.
Okay, all right.